Welcome to tonight's InfoWars Nightly News. I'm your host, Melissa Melton, and here's what we have coming up for you on this January 31st, 2013 edition.
Tonight, high military alert across the Middle East after an Israeli attack inside Syria. Meanwhile, U.S. Special Forces are deployed to Jordan, and the Russian fleet in the Mediterranean is also on high alert. Then, a look at the mainstream media's continuing campaign to deceive the public and gut the Second Amendment. That's up next on the InfoWars Nightly News.
We begin this evening with a very important development as high military alert is across the Middle East following an Israeli attack inside Syria. Syria has now moved troops to the Israel-occupied Golan Heights. The Lebanese Army has reinforced its southern outposts, and Jordan has positioned troops on the Jordan River border with Israel. The Russian fleet in the Mediterranean is also on high alert. U.S. forces are now stationed in Turkey, and special forces have also been deployed. And American, German, and Dutch Patriot missile units are on the Turkish border, also on high preparedness. And basically, this Israeli attack is a desperate bid to save this failed Syria campaign. As Tony Cartolucci points out at Infowars.com, Israel has now conducted airstrikes inside Syria based on suspicions of chemical weapons transfers. And Israel has publicly warned that it would take military action to prevent the Syrian regime's chemical weapons falling into the hands of Hezbollah in Lebanon or, quote, global jihadists fighting inside Syria. But in reality, these global jihadists are in fact armed and funded by the U.S., Saudi Arabia, and Israel since at least as early as 2007. And the fears of these terrorists acquiring chemical weapons is absurd. They've already acquired them with U.S., NATO, British, Saudi, Qatari, and even Israeli help in Libya in 2011. And in fact, these are the very same Libyan terrorists that are spearheading the foreign militant groups that are flooding into Syria through the Turkish-Syrian border. So we have to be on the lookout now for false flag attacks, because reports have already come out before warning that the rebels had the chemical weapons and they were going to detonate those and blame it on Assad as a pretext to invade the country. What's worse is a Russian MiG has buzzed Israel following the attack on Syria. Moscow has said that such action, if confirmed, of the Israel attack would amount to an unacceptable military interference in the war-ravaged country, which was issued by the Russian Foreign Ministry, and Lebanon sources have later reported that a Russian MiG-31 fighter crossed over Wednesday, headed in the direction of Israel. Russia obviously isn't taking Israel's actions lightly, and China has gone on record before to say that if something happens to Syria, Russia's going to get involved. China's also going to get involved. This is the verge of World War III. This is what we're talking about right now. They're playing with fire here. And InfoWars will definitely keep you up to date on all the latest information at Infowars.com as this situation unfolds. So we're going to switch gears now. A fish actually caught near the Fukushima plant shows more than 2,500 times the legal radiation limit for human consumption. A fish was caught as part of an ongoing Tokyo Electric Power Company seafood monitoring program tested at 254,000 becquerels per kilogram of radioactive cesium. And this level of radiation is enough to suggest that the plant is more than likely still releasing extremely high levels of nuclear radiation directly into the ocean. And we at InfoWars, we have reported that this was going to happen. The mainstream media is not reporting on this, even though stories like this come out every single day, and they're going to continue to come out, and you never hear about them. But you will continue to hear about them here at InfoWars.
Visit Infowars.com and PrisonPlanet.com. When you're on the site, you can also tune in 24 hours a day to my daily radio broadcast. There's also a free iPhone app to listen to the syndicated radio show when and where you want.